Hello everyone, this is Harsha from Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, pursuing my studies in BE Computer Science. Today I am here to uh, do a video assignment on petrol versus hybrid vehicles. So today our main objective is to compare petrol and hybrid vehicles, discuss the advantage and limitations of the hybrid as well as petrol vehicles. Given a choice, which one do you prefer and why? So today we are going to learn all about this in this PPT. So mainly the examples of petrol vehicles, you can see at the left side the Thar. Thar is a petrol vehicle and a Toyota Fortuner is also a petrol vehicle. In the other side you can see hybrid vehicles, Toyota Prius and Honda inside. These are the hybrid vehicles. Let us start. Okay, fuel efficiency. The petrol vehicle have a lower fuel efficiency compared to hybrids. They rely solely on petrol, which leads to higher fuel compensation on and emissions. Hybrid achieves better fuel efficiency due to the combination of a petrol and electric power. So the hybrid have both petrol and an electrical uh, charging point where this hybrids can switch from a petrol or a diesel to an electrical at the motion. So performance, as all of us know, the petrol vehicles are best in the performance due to their high power and high speed. So at the other side, hybrids have less power due to the switching of petrol to electrical or diesel to electrical, where the both switching or the efficiency of the fuel decreases and the performance also decreases in hybrid vehicles. So cost, when we talk about cost, the petrol vehicles are very cheap in respect to hybrid vehicles because of its easy availability and a mass production or a mass manufacturing units and very high demand. So the initial cost of a petrol vehicle is much lower compared to hybrid vehicles, and hybrid vehicles have a higher initial purchase cost due to their advanced technologies like the advanced AI and other IoT in the vehicles and many other applications. Due to this, the initial cost of this vehicle gradually increases, and the tax also differs from regions to region. So driving range, when we talk about driving range, petrol vehicles can be drove a very large distance. It can cover a large distance at a single fuel full tank. So at the other perspective, hybrid have a lower driving range because of its switching from petrol to a battery or a petrol to an electrical, where this electrical capacity of storing the electricity is lesser compared to the petrol. So due to this, hybrid vehicles driving range is very low and petrol vehicles are much higher. Environmental impact, the petrol vehicles have a great impact in the pollution or in the earth environment, where it produces a large amount of smoke and it causes a great amount of pollution, whereas hybrid have a less or fewer emission and have a lower carbon footprints. The integration of the electrical power and the fuel tank, which gives rise to hybrid vehicle, where the hybrid vehicle have a great reduce in pollution, where the electrical part of the hybrid vehicle is the reason where the pollution is decreased. So maintenance, as we know, the petrol vehicles have a high maintenance cost, and the hybrid have a high maintenance cost due to its battery replacement, electrical motors and regenerative braking systems. So frequently the additional cost will be charged in the hybrid vehicles, whereas in petrol vehicles there is a routine maintenance which is gradually taken place, and the the maintenance is only for its engine and its wheels or other body parts, if any maintenance is needed. So the maintenance cost of the petrol vehicles is much lesser and the hybrid vehicles is more comparatively. So you can see refueling and charging points. The petrol vehicles have a refueling point where the petrol stations are available all over the world and all over this environment or all over the India, where the petrol station we can fill the petrol anywhere at any time. But in the case of hybrid vehicles, the charging point or the charging port are available less, and now the infrastructure is being built by the government, and the installation of the hybrid vehicles charging point is much higher compared to petrol stations because of its high technology and the upcoming technologies. So the installation cost also increases and the infrastructure is much lower, and it need a plug-in where special infrastructure is to be built to connect the hybrid vehicles. So the petrol vehicles have a convenient and very vast connection of petrol stations, whereas hybrid vehicles does not have this vast connections. So the petrol vehicles can impact more. So you can see the comparison of petrol and hybrid vehicles in this slide. The fuel efficiency of the petrol vehicles and hybrid vehicles, you can see as lower. Fuel efficiency is lower in petrol vehicles and fuel efficiency is higher in hybrid vehicles. Emission rate is in petrol vehicles are higher and the performance is also higher. Purchase cost is lower and fuel cost is higher, and driving range is longer. You can drive at a longer distance, as we have explained earlier. So in the hybrid vehicles, fuel efficiency is higher because of its both petrol and electrical switching, and emission is lower and performance is also lower comparatively because of its switching from fuel to the electrical. It takes a slight time to convert it from hybrid vehicle where the petrol is converted to electrical. So the performance also reduces and purchase cost is much higher and the fuel cost is lower, as we know, and driving range is shorter due to its electrical batteries. So let us talk about advantages and limitations of petrol vehicles. So advantages of petrol vehicles are power and performance. The petrol vehicles are much suggested due to its power and its performance. The power of the petrol vehicles are much greater and much impactable comparatively to other vehicles, and widespread of refueling infrastructures. The refueling infrastructures are great in number in the all over the world, where the convenient source of the fossil fuels produced is petrol and it is easily available everywhere. Then low initial cost. The first time investment of a petrol vehicle is much lower comparatively to the other vehicles. It may be diesel, it may be electrical, it may be hybrid. The initial cost of the petrol vehicle is much lower and the maintenance of the petrol vehicles are much easier, and the petrol vehicles have a simpler design and requires less specialization maintenance. So as we come to limitations of petrol vehicles, lower fuel efficiency. So it means petrol vehicles have lower fuel efficiency compared to hybrid, resulting in higher fuel consumption and increased expenses. So the fuel cost of the petrol is much higher. The environmental impact. The other limitation is environmental impact. So due to the extraction of fossil fuels from the earth crust, it produces a pollution, and after the refining of the fossil fuels or the crude oil, it produces the environmental waste, and again when we use as in vehicle the petrol or the petroleum products, a byproduct is released which is called as smoke, where the environment is damaged and the air pollution is taken place, where the greenhouse gases are affected. So the it plays a negative impact in the environment. Dependence on fossil fuels. Petrol vehicles rely on fossil fuels. So when the fossil fuels are extended or it may be vanished from the earth, the petrol production is stopped. So the dependence of fossil fuels is a turning point in the petrol vehicles. So when we come to hybrid vehicles, so the advantages and disadvantages of the hybrid vehicles, there are both advantages as well as disadvantages in hybrid vehicles. So let us talk about advantages of hybrid vehicles. Fuel efficiency, lower emissions. So fuel efficiency in hybrid vehicles, both the petrol and the electrical motors are combined with each other, where the fuel efficiency is increased, and the traditional petrol vehicles are when compared, the hybrid vehicles achieve a higher mileage, comparatively to petrol vehicles. So regenerative brake play a great impact in the choosing of the hybrid vehicles. So regenerative brake is a braking system where uh, the motion of the hybrid vehicles is converted to an electrical uh, electricity, where again the electricity is used to run the vehicle, and it produces when regenerative brakes are applied. So this start and stop technology is a new technology where the usage is seen in the hybrid vehicles or in electrical vehicles. So it plays we can see another advantage as environmental benefits. So what it means is the hybrid vehicles generally do not rely on the fossil fuels, where the fossil fuels are not needed much. It is needed at light or a little quantity, but is not overally depend on the fossil fuels. It is depend on the sustainable energy. So it is electricity or electrical energy, which is much cleaner and much safer, and it does not harm environmentally. So another big advantage is the government initiatives. The government play a crucial role in the uh, taking or buying of the hybrid vehicles, where the incentives are given to the hybrid vehicles, where the government boost the consumers to take the hybrid vehicles, where the dependence of fossil fuels decreases, and the purchase or the economy of the government also increases due to the uh, unnecessary impact of the fossil fuels. So when the government gives subsidies and the tax initiatives are reduced, and road tax also is reduced other than petrol, so the hybrid vehicles are where the hybrid vehicles, the buyers get attracted with these benefits available from the government, and they tend to buy the hybrid vehicles. So limitations of hybrid vehicles: higher purchase price. The main limitations of an hybrid vehicles, where it plays a crucial role in buying hybrid vehicles, is higher purchase rate. The higher purchase rate is that the initial cost or the upfront cost of the petrol vehicles is much lesser than the hybrid vehicles. Hybrid vehicles are much costlier because of this new technologies installed, and the double battery and fuel tank systems. There is a huge technology inbuilt in the hybrid vehicles, so that the uh, initial cost of the vehicles are higher. And battery life and maintenance. So battery life of an hybrid vehicles must be changed 3 to 5 years consequently, or at the mid, and the change of the battery is much higher comparatively, and the hybrid systems may lead to higher repair and expensive maintenance cost. This plays a crucial role in the hybrid vehicles, whereas in traditional petrol vehicles there is no such no such battery life or maintenance disadvantages, where the hybrid vehicles have the maintenance disadvantage, and the battery life of the battery is much lower. And charging infrastructure: This all, as we know, the charging infrastructure is much poor in the world of hybrid vehicles, where now the installation or the infrastructure is being built all over the world or all over the India, where the hybrid vehicles are much given importance. The new build infrastructures are coming up, and the charging charging stations are in build, but at present the charging infrastructure is not available in some areas. Only in some limited areas or the tier 1 cities there are available, the charging infrastructure is available. So the conclusion, if I had given a choice to prefer a petrol or an hybrid vehicles, what could I prefer? At the present scenario, I could go to petrol vehicles, because mainly the cost of the vehicles play a crucial role in buying it. And if the cost is much higher comparatively, then the cost also then the vehicles also, like, the vehicles cannot be affordable. So the petrol vehicles are affordable, and it can be bought. And the India follow a traditional way of buying the vehicles, where the traditional vehicle of the of every customer is a petrol vehicle, where everyone is buying a traditional vehicle, which is traditional petrol vehicle. And the other reasons of taking as a petrol vehicle petrol cars is because of its great performance and great stability or great efficiency. So the performance of the petrol vehicles or petrol cars is much higher than the hybrid vehicles, because of the single engine or the single fuel tank or the single fuel. The petrol vehicles give a much higher efficiency comparatively to hybrid, where in hybrid they have to shift from the traditional fuel to new technology as an electrical, wherein the petrol have a good performance and a good efficiency in covering a distance. And other reasons of choosing a petrol vehicle is that its driving range. So the petrol vehicles can be drove a further distance or the far of the areas without any hesitation or without any fear. But as in the hybrid vehicles, there is a limitation of traveling. It may be like 100 kilometers, it may be like 200 kilometers. There is a limitation of its battery life or its capacity to cover its distance. But the petrol vehicles have a great efficiency, wherein the petrol vehicles can be upheld in the choosing of petrol and hybrid cars. So when we suggest a petrol or an hybrid cars, as of now in the current situation, we choose a petrol vehicle. But for the future, when we see about the future, we can choose a hybrid cars, or we can go to electrical vehicles, wherein hybrid cars is a future investment, wherein the infrastructures are being developing gradually, and for the charging port or the charging stations. And the hybrid vehicles are given the subsidies or the we can say as initiatives, tax initiatives, or the governments are pushing the customers to buy hybrid vehicles because of the environment friendly vehicles and the economic impact. The hybrid When we buy a hybrid vehicle, the economy of India gradually increases, and the hybrid vehicles are environmental friendly, and we can suggest the hybrid cars also. But at present, the petrol vehicles are good choice for the customers who are in the middle class and at the lower level. But for hybrid cars, the initial cost is much higher, and it is a future investment which everybody can buy. So my conclusion is this, and it can change as in your perspective or at your buying, or it may be at your thinking. And the both the petrol and hybrid are all uh, good in their in their ability, in their in their efficiency. And this was my conclusion. And thank you for everyone for watching this video, and please do subscribe, please do like, and guys share, and do comment also. Thank you.